Well, Merry Christmas in March. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Well, I guess I decided to be here again today, so there's that. I'm apparently too bullheaded to quit before I finish this thing, so we'll see. But today was Christmas, and for that matter, it's pretty much going to be Christmas every couple of weeks for the foreseeable future, so that's interesting. But the remarkable thing about this particular Christmas story is it's the first time that Doctor Who aired on Christmas Day in exactly 40 years. It was Christmas Day of 2005 with the episode The Feast of Stephen, where Christmas happened to fall on Doctor Who's regular broadcast night. And so they took a break from the ongoing Dalek story to do a 30-minute Christmas-themed story that was terrible. I mean, really, truly, wretchedly terrible. I can't recommend it. This one, however, this is the first Doctor Who Christmas story specifically commissioned not as an episode of the regular season, but a special hour-long episode to air on Christmas Day on the BBC. And that tradition continued for many, many years until, well, very recently, actually. But I'll get to that, in about 6 months, I think. This one, however, is the first, and it sets the standard for how Doctor Who will treat the holidays for decades to come. And wow, is it a good one. I mentioned yesterday that at David Tennant's insistence, beginning with this story, the character of the Doctor is credited as the Doctor instead of Doctor Who in the closing credits. And that was indeed modeled after the fifth Doctor. It was Peter Davison who first asked for that change. And for David Tennant, the fifth Doctor was very much his Doctor. And a lot of the 10th Doctor kind of templates off the fifth while being completely original in his own right. But it's not just the name in the credits. Another parallel is that the fifth Doctor's first story, he spends much of it unconscious post-regeneration. And that's exactly the story beat that Russell T Davies uses in this episode. David Tennant, although he appears throughout the story, he is asleep for the vast majority of it and doesn't properly emerge as the Doctor until a full 41 minutes into the story. And once he does, he settles into the role immediately. Now, I will say, for me, he doesn't really fully settle into the role and properly become the Doctor until The Girl in the Fireplace. That's the first just out of the ballpark David Tennant story. But Christmas Invasion is very, very good. It has the return of Harriet Jones, has Jackie and Mickey, it has tin-faced robot Santa, brass band pilot fish, it has a murderous Christmas tree, it has an unexpected quote from The Lion King. It just has everything you could possibly ask for in a holiday special. And David Tennant is immediately believable and recognizable as the Doctor. One interesting thing to note about this story, one facet of the story has the alien Sycorax taking over about a third of the Earth's population through blood control. And so every human with A-positive blood is compelled to walk to the top of any nearby tall structure and stand on the edge, with the Sycorax threatening to have them jump to their deaths if Earth doesn't accede to their commands. And one of the locations used to film for that is the roof of the Tower of London. And that footage shot there, that was the very first time the Tower of London allowed any production company to film on the roof of the tower. It was a pretty remarkable security grant and makes for a unique location for parts of the story. So that in and of itself tells you just how significant Doctor Who was to the BBC in 2005 and to the national consciousness at that point. Doctor Who has completely and fully been resurrected, and it's just about to enter the golden age of the modern era. Two other interesting things in this story. It brings back UNIT for the first time, although the United Nations itself is about to complain about Doctor Who's usage of their name, and so UNIT gets renamed from the United Nations Intelligence Task Force to the Unified Intelligence Task Force. That's coming soon. But the other, more interesting thing is this story is the first to introduce Torchwood. And a lot of this season is going to lay the groundwork for the upcoming Torchwood series, and I'll get there pretty dang soon now. So that wraps it up for today. Tomorrow I move on to David Tennant's first series proper, and most significantly, the first time in the modern era the show actually travels away from the Earth. Everything in Series 1 was either set on Earth or in immediate Earth orbit. And in Series 2, the very first story, Rose travels to her first alien world. Of course, it's New Earth, but I'll take what I can get. I'll see you tomorrow.